And so we're in Isaiah chapter 1 through 33, and I just kind of want to talk about the book of Isaiah. Isaiah is one of what is called a major prophet, and the reason why it's called a major prophet is because the amount of writing. We have major prophets, minor prophets, and it really has to do more with the amount that's there, because like books like Amos, that Obadiah, minor prophets, their letters are pretty short. Isaiah's is a pretty long one. Good morning, Clara. Good morning, Regi. Thank you guys for jumping on here. And as might be expected, Isaiah is named for the prophet that wrote it. Isaiah, he was married to a prophetess, and he had at least two sons. Those sons are both mentioned in the book, and he prophesied during four kings. Let me see who they are: Uzziah, Jotham, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, and likely met his death under King Manasseh. And Christian tradition says that he is probably at least one that's referenced in Hebrews 11's heroes of faith as being being cut in two. That's how Isaiah died. And Isaiah prophesied from 739 to 681 BC. And let me tell you why Isaiah is so important. And you're going to see this as we go through the whole book. This week we're chapters 1 through 33. But Isaiah provides us with the most complete prophetic picture of Jesus Christ in the entire Old Testament. It includes the full scope of his life, the announcement of his coming, his virgin birth, his proclamation of the good news, his sacrificial death, and his return to come back and claim his own. All of those are contained in the book of Isaiah. So Isaiah is a really really important book, and a great book to spend some time studying. And probably the overall theme is made the clearest in chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid." Man, is that ever appropriate for us today in the days that we're living in, when everything seems so tumultuous and things so much up in the air and so much uncertainty. But man, to trust in God, I love that. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. You know, you can't look anywhere else except to God. Put your confidence in Him. Put your trust in Him, and He is our salvation. Man, if you're trying to trust in something else, I can promise you, it is not going to work out. It is not going to go well, because everything in this life that we can put trust in, or we attempt to put trust in, ultimately falls apart. There have been those times in my life where the tendency was to put confidence somewhere else, and I'm telling you, there's no place. Don't give in to that temptation of thinking it. Well, if I had this, then I'd be okay. If I had that, I'd be okay. Let me tell you, God is enough. Having salvation in your life, man, what a powerful thing. And that is the theme through all of Isaiah, is he's talking about the salvation of God. And specifically in so many cases, and we'll see this as we go through it, it's about Jesus Christ and about Him coming, and filled with prophecies about Jesus, and the fact that Jesus fulfilled every single one of the prophecies in the Old Testament that were about the Messiah. Jesus fulfilled every one of them. and they're not all contained in Isaiah. I mean, there's over 300 prophecies in the Old Testament related to the Messiah, and Jesus fulfilled every one of those. So God is our salvation. In fact, Isaiah's name means salvation of Yahweh. His very name contributes to the message of the book of Isaiah. And so today, even though as you read through this, the early chapters are going to deal a whole lot with judgment, because God does bring judgment on nations that rebel against Him and rebel against the truth, rebel against what God's word has to say. There's judgment that comes to those nations. And the early part of Isaiah deals with that and talks about that. But the overall picture of Isaiah is the picture of God being our salvation, and specifically talking about Jesus Christ. And so today, put your trust in Him, put your confidence in Him.